In this video, I'll show you how to put the pulley onto a drawing sheet and add the section view. So we've been talking about section view, so keep in mind what we're trying to do is make sure we're able to show all of the detail and have good places to put our dimensions. See if I can change the scale on this thing. So I increase that scale there. So let's see what we have with our views. Turn on the hidden lines. So the situation here, this is a great view. There's a problem with this right and the top view. Now one thing is they're exactly the same, so I don't need both of those views. That's not going to do anything for me. And when you're in this kind of situation, you always want to do a front view and a right side view, not a front and a top. Think about using the space that you have on the paper efficiently. So the challenge here is I'm going to need to dimension all these features, but unfortunately they're all shown as hidden and we're not supposed to dimension the hidden lines. Turn off those hiddens. So what I'm going to do instead of having this right side view is I'm just going to replace it with a section view. Remember with section views you can add views, or you can also, in some cases like this one, just replace an existing view that doesn't have a lot of value for you. So go up to section view. I want to project it over here to the right, so it's going to be a vertical cutting line. Click on the center. Remember with the full section you want to show the center, go through the center, check mark, and I'll pull the view over here to the right to replace my right side view. Over to the left would be kind of unconventional since we're replacing the right side view, and just click it over there. Check the label. It is section AA, which is perfect. So we'll say OK. So now you can see what happens is those lines and those features that were hidden are now shown as object lines. So I can use these to use this view to add a lot of my dimensions. Now remember how we rotated this hole up by 30 degrees, and the reason we wanted to do that is because we wanted this section line to line up with those holes. So when you look at the section view, you see the true size and shape. That's the full diameter of those holes, as opposed to just kind of randomly hoping that you grab onto the hole. So in terms of dimensioning, it's pretty straightforward at this point, just like we've always done. We'll want to add our center lines. We're going to want to add all our dimensions, but again what we can do here is we have these in this section view. We have a perfect place to add all the dimensions that we need. Now you've got a lot of diameters on here, so sometimes I'll see this, which actually it's okay, you're getting the dimensions on there, it just is very challenging to read it. So again, I'm just using leader lines on this front view. It seems like the obvious choice. And also I need one to call out that bolt circle diameter. Now notice something about that is it's called out as a radius, and that is a circle, so we need to change that. So just double click, get rid of that, so delete that and click on diameter, and we know that that's a 2.5. So that's an easy correction. So here's the situation that we've got all these diameters. It's really kind of hard to tell what is even going on with this view with all these diameters, where you have this view here that would work perfectly well for the same thing. So my recommendation on this part, and every drawing is a little bit different, is I'm not going to put all those diameters on there. I'm going to call out the outside diameter, the inside diameter, and then this bolt circle for the pattern. My other diameters, I'm going to put them on this view, and I'm going to scatter them around so it's not the same thing. I don't have just a bunch of jumbled up dimensions. So for example, what you can do is alternate. I started with the shortest dimension, then I went over to this side, and then I'll go to the next longest dimension. And also notice I'm staggering these so they're not conflicting with each other. The numerical values are not crashing into each other. And you can move these around, make it real easy to read. So now I've got that ID, OD, and then all these others. Now if they don't show up with a diameter symbol, that's a problem. Just double click on the dimension, come over here and put your cursor in front of that dimension and click on the diameter symbol, and it'll put it on there, because it's not a linear dimension. Those are diameter dimensions. The other thing, of course, is don't forget to call out these dimensions. That's kind of one of the reasons we had the section view, is so we have a place to really call out these dimensions. I'll put those on there, and then I'll come in and clean this thing up a little bit. That one's too far away, so it's taking up a lot of room. And somehow I lost that other dimension. That's okay. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I do want to, I've called out that bolt circle diameter. I need to call out the actual size on these, which is 1/2 inch. And again, you want to call out the number. So put your cursor in front of there, do a 6x. So there's no confusion about that. So that's a pretty good drawing. I think I have all the dimensions on here. Now notice how this bolt circle, how you have that center mark, which includes all of those. Now you can make that happen if it doesn't show up automatically. If you go up to center mark and then you click on this that says circular center mark, and you click on each of those holes, it'll put this bolt circle, and it'll put those curved center marks. It's kind of a chore to go in here and undo all of these, but what you don't want to see is this kind of a rectangular center mark. And also don't dimension this with linear dimensions. Right? That's not how we dimension circular bolt patterns. You're going to want to use this type of note here where you call out the bolt circle diameter and you show everything else. So just get back to where we were. So yeah, that's the correct way. Okay, there you go.